Hey, it's Beata, and now I'm doing a second part of this Guides of Seven, which were related to the tarot decks. Now we are doing another hashtag, which called the Seven Guides, or Guides of Seven, related to the Oracle decks that you can, Natalia called them, you can call them as a voice of your intuition. And I have already made the 7 councils for the tarot decks. Now I'm approaching to my oracle decks, and I have selected 7 of them. Just to, and of course it was very difficult. I don't have that many of oracle decks, but it was kind of difficult to choose few of them, maybe not all of them. Some of them are very, just right away. There were some other things that maybe because I'm not working with those decks yet very deep, that's why this is the result. Well, I think without further ado, I would like to start my first guide of 7 is the Sacred Creators Oracle. Because of the light you might not actually see the back. It's the very nice matte gilded. It's made by Createors, and I'm telling you, this oracle is wonderful. It's called Sacred Creators Oracle, and I'm telling you, I'm not the most creative person in the world, therefore this deck is actually perfect. Of course, it's very good. For me, I'm actually using it almost at every reading as a sum it up, like a few sentences on the main readings that I'm doing for my customers. But for myself, sometimes I'm doing the spreads for the directions, the creative things that I need to do, the creative approach that I need to try, and this just amazing in its in its simple form. So I really love it for the straightforward messages. Of course, you can work much deeper with this deck. It's not just the words and sentences in the cards, because the first cards are very much related into major arcana of tarot, but all the rest is different. But just because it is very easy to step into the place where you need to understand something. Sometimes it's asking questions that you were thinking, say what? Do you really? How can I answer that? But I'm telling you, it is really beautiful. And I have noticed that, of course, it's very much business related. Many people saying that it's a bit business related cards, or entrepreneur related cards, or just work. Well, I have to say, not only or not always, every time that I'm finishing this tarot session with my customers, I'm pulling 3 cards just to have a few sentences where to put your attention. I'm telling you, the Sacred Creators is brilliant for that. So every time I feel this need to touch this place in my soul where I need to go more creative, I'm really going to do that, to use this this deck. And it's very easy to follow, to understand. This is the only deck that I'm actually work with reversals, because in the main meaning and the upward meanings of these cards are things that you need to focus, but the reversed cards is the self-care messages. That's why this deck is so multifunctional. I'm telling you, it's brilliant as a wrap-up of your reading session, or just to ask for directions. It is really brilliant for that purpose. So Sacred Creators, it's my first one, because I love, especially when you are not the most creative person as myself, I think it's this deck is actually perfect. And as you can see, I think it's going to be easier to see like this. As you can see, it's very light colors. It's only few cards that has this red, this black, this deep purple in here. It's really delicate in tones, but it's brilliant deck, and you can definitely combine it with any deck you want, and most definitely you could use it independently or as a you know, wrapping up of the full long session just in a few sentences. I usually pull 3 cards, and you can pull 3 cards, as Christian is also recommending, like for 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, or 3 periods of time, or any way you want it. It all messages that you need to focus on, and that's I really like. Next card or next deck is it's a goddess deck. It's actually called the Goddess Oracle, and as I call it, this is the back. This is my full moon deck. Every full moon, I pull one message, one card from this deck, just to see what to focus from this full moon to the next full moon. It's wonderful. It is really great. This is my first ever goddess oracle. I do have another I'll mention in a second, but this is you could see many different goddesses from all over the world, the different cultures, different myths, and I honestly love it. The messages, the meditations you can do with these cards, it's brilliant. So every full moon I'm pulling this one of the card from this deck, and it's helped me to put my focus or energy into the places or areas of my life where I need to. And I have never noticed that it gives me the false messages or the wrong messages. Once or twice I thought, maybe it's not so much, but actually after a month has passed, then I realized that I didn't understood the message at that time. Therefore, it's really good just to focus on it. I don't know, it's called Maeve, it's responsibility, but look at the image. Hopefully you will be able to focus. It looks like Susan Sarandon to me. I don't know why, it just does. But I honestly love this deck, so I highly recommend, if you are, because I never worked with the goddess oracles or deities in general before. So if you're considering to do that, do it or try to find a deck that you will be able to connect with moon phase. Like this is really my full moon energy, and that's why I will always, every full moon, I'm choosing this card. So it is this is one of my 7 guides, and this is the full moon guide. The next one, and it's a special one for me. I have traveled to London to Watkins Books, and I live in Poland, so it's still in Europe, but nevertheless I couldn't get it in here, so I have bought it when I was in London, and it's the Wild Kuan Oracle. I think this is the 2nd edition as far as I recall. It has a revised guidebook. And I'm telling you, it's wonderful. It's just one goddess. In this deck, in the Goddess Oracle, there is one card called Wild Kuan, but here it's all about Kuan and the informations that she's sharing. This is my new moon deck, and I'm telling you, it's perfect. It's not only my new moon deck. For quite some months, I'm working on something called Self-Love Friday, just because it's a Venus day, and I think we are giving our love and time and attention to others, and we are forgetting about ourselves. This deck, and I have noticed I'm doing it in my Facebook group, and I have noticed many people are missing it because I have changed it with another I'll also mention now, but I know I'll always use this deck for Self-Love Friday as well, or again, but it is my new moon card. Every time, every new moon, you can see there are cards in different directions. Every new moon I will pull one card to see the message, to hear the message, to embrace the message. And it's really, I couldn't say it's a healing deck, but it's really very easy to work with, very very soul connected. And I'm talking already, mentioning twice about soul, because there is a reason for it. That's why my oracle decks are selected mostly that are touching those places in your soul that you normally, or I normally don't. So that's why I don't use this deck as a reversals. It just goes in a multi-direction, so that's why I'm twisting it all the way around. But the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle, it's perfect, it's beautiful. The messages are very healing, even though I'm not treating it as a very much healing. I have another healing deck. Like, I think it's more like your soul healing. Another deck that I'm having is more like soul and body healing. But the Wild Kuan Yin, again, if you're not very much into the goddess oracles and you would like to try to find a connection with the deck, and combine it with the moon phase. As the goddess oracle is the full moon, the Wild Kuan Yin oracle is actually the new moon. Every time the new moon is coming, you can, the darker place, you might actually afraid or be afraid. The Kuan Yin is always helping me to guide. I have added red, so, but it's brilliant, it's beautiful. Well, that was my first decks of 3 from the 7 guides, or the guides of 7, as Nicole from Ouroboros named this challenge or this hashtag. Next one are deeper, and I'm starting to go into the next level. These are very easy to use. These 3 I have mentioned. It's very, very approachable, and it's very not even fun. I don't want it to say fun, but maybe I need one deck that is more cheerful, but it's very easy to approach. For me, I instantly knew that the goddess will be my full moon, Wild Kuan Yin will be my new moon, and the Sacred Creators Oracle will be to pull my activities to be more creative, for example. Next one, we are going to the very big deck, very big, not only in size, it's very deep deck. It's the Weaver's Oracle. This is a special deck for me. This deck I'm not using as a, I don't know, what would be my day today or tomorrow. No. This is very deep deck. This is very, it requires a lot of understanding. It requires the messages you are receiving. It's actually like in 3 chapters, like you can see the thread that it comes, her story, the braid, and then the final result. And I really enjoying those messages, even though that every time I will pull this card, it's like more or less like a Sabbath time, like a special event. Sorry. And this is the message that I'm reading. I'm actually reading a few times through the months or 2 months. It depends how long time it will last until the next time I will use it. It is beautiful. It is deep messages. It requires a lot of processing. If you are not a writing person, like scribbling, I'm not very much, but sometimes I'm just, it actually forcing me to write few sentences about it, just my thoughts about it. So this deck is amazing. It's scary. I have shown to a few people this deck, and they said, oh my god, some of the characters or the images are terrifying, and they are ugly, they are old. This is something I called my ancestral deck, like the connecting with my ancestors. That's why you are not in, at least I am not in contact with my ancestors like every day or every week. This is the time when I'm really devoting my time to it. So this deck, when we come to this moment when we need to talk together, the messages will be long, will requiring some processing through, thinking through, talking it through, and working, of course, it through. And I'm telling you, at the beginning, I remember I couldn't understand the messages. I couldn't follow it. I couldn't get it. until some time when I have really noticed, okay, you don't have to push yourself into understanding, like logically understand every single thing. You will just go part by part. Maybe, because as I said, it's the messages in 3 chapters. Maybe you haven't reached to the, or I haven't reached to the level to see the final product. Maybe I'm just still one single thread when it's actually blended into the braid. So that's why the messages are amazing. Especially, this is from the, this is from the Blood Clan. Yeah, it's beautiful. The very strong messages, very deep messages. And this is not the deck that you will use for daily readings. Most definitely not. But if you are looking for the deck, look, I have edged it in the different colors, because it's the Weaver's Oracle, and when they are weaving different fabrics, so you will use different colors. So that's why I have decided to color them. But if you are looking for a deep deck, I have not, some time ago, I have made a video for long journey decks. This is one of the long journey decks, because I know it will take me a very long time to process it, understand and receive the messages. And I know these would be the very important messages in my life. That's why I love this deck. The next one, it's actually, I think, the newest one in my collection, is the Whisper in the Ear Oracle. It looks like a Christmas paper on the back, but I'm telling you, this is one of the deck that I have jumped into. Normally, and I'm telling you, every other time than this, I have a wish list on my for my decks, different decks, oracle decks, tarot decks, or some other things, and I never jump into them. I always wait a lot. I'm listening or watching the reviews, and then I'm moving away from it, and then after some period of time, I'm deciding whether I'm still interested in or not, or removing or adding new, or buying some decks. But when I saw this deck, I'm telling you, it was instant call. And this is another deck that I'm switching with my Wild Kuan for Self-Love Friday. Every time I'm pulling one card for messages for me to love myself, to appreciate myself, to thank to myself, this deck is actually giving me very adequate messages, very good. But at the same time, I was telling before at the beginning of this video that maybe I need to have one joyful or more funny deck, but in a way, sometimes this is very cheerful deck as well. One of the cards, and I need to show you this card. It is very much it's funny, but it's also very much in telling you the real story. Yeah, this is the one. Not my circus, not my monkeys. How many times we would appreciate if someone have told me this, or I would appreciate anyway. So it is a funny deck, but it's also a deep deck, and I love it. It's very easy to bond with this deck, and I think just because the creator Sean has made this with the free spirit, with the open heart and open mind, and it was very nice. Nice approach, and I have seen only positive recommendation of this deck, and I'm telling you, I love it. So this is my Self-Love Friday for now, but also, you know, sometimes when you are putting your nose into the cases or the things that you shouldn't, this deck will remind you. Focus on what you need. That was my number 5. The next one is the Shamanic Medicine Oracle. It's also new in my collection, but it's strictly healing, emotionally related with your body. I don't know, I have a feeling that it's very grounding, I was looking for earthy oracle. Again, I really need this earthy element in my life, and I have one, hold on, what does it called? The Earth Power Oracle, but we didn't bond, so I'm afraid, or I think I'll just pass it on soon. I'll give it one more try. I have another fairy forest oracle that I'm not very much into, but this Shamanic Medicine oracle it's amazing. It's giving me the messages, not only me, because I have heard many times when people saw some of the cards messages, they said, yeah, this is what I really need at this moment. So it is, for me, it's a healer. And I'm not pulling every single time when I'm just want to use any deck. This deck comes when I really need to do some healing, and it's amazing. And I highly recommend this Shamanic Oracle, Shamanic Medicine Oracle. It's really beautiful. It's reads very well. It also gives these messages that you need to think of. You need to work through. I'm not so many years ago, I really wasn't into decks where there were very much animals, and nowadays I really love it. I have the Wild Unknown, how do you call it, Wild Unknown Animal Spirit as well. So I'm very much into animal. I'll tell you why. Because I'm in search of my inner animal. I thought I'm here. I thought I was this one. Some of my friends describe me as a mother bee. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm still in search of, so maybe that's why I'm very much into this animal-based decks. But the Shamanic Medicine Oracle, it's a true healer for me. And then I have, but this is there are 2 decks I wanted to mention as a 7, because it is, for me, it's a 1 set. It's no surprise, it's Deborah Kof-Chapin Soul Cards. This is Soul Cards 1, and the purple one, Soul Cards 2. And this is the deck. This is truly one of the few decks that I'm using only for myself. It is really the messages. I mean, I'm so grateful and so happy, and to my tears often, for the messages that I'm receiving here. Even now I can feel, oh my God, it's amazing, because there are no explanations in the book. There is a little guidebook, but it's just a description in general. I'm so happy that there are no messages. And then I was thinking, okay, how the hell am I going to be able to read them? And I'm telling you, I don't know why, but I have to work with them out loud. I'm quite often speak to myself when I'm looking at the cards. And then the more I'm describing the cards, the more I'm not, I don't know, naming the things that you can see in the cards, then I all of a sudden go deeper. I'm noticing different things. I'm noticing different elements. Yeah, you can look, oopsie, you can look in some of the cards in a different direction as well. So it's really giving me a lot of important messages, and sometimes those messages are, or it's not even a visions. I don't have a visions, but when I'm looking on those images, some of the feelings that I have, or projections that I have, I can't even name them. So that's why it's so really great. This is the Soul Cards 2. That's why I have a feeling, oh my God, look at this deck, this card. Isn't it amazing? How many times have we felt closed in some form when we were actually screaming on the inside? And the funny part is that there are not so many reviews of each and every card of this deck, because everyone is understanding the cards in a different way. It depends on your life experience, soul experience, heart experience, you can call. Then the images, the explanation, the messages would be different. I'm telling you, soul cards are important for me. And again, I'm not using them very often. I'm not pulling one card a week, because these are the moments when you approach to some certain periods in the year, whether it's my birthday, New Year, Witch's New Year, Samhain, whatever. There are some different periods when you feel like you need to pull one card. I'm considering to do a little session again. I think I feel drawn to it. I do have some important decisions to make in my life, and I think soul cards will be a very important part of it. and I'm telling you, you can never get over with this, with these cards, with this deck. So that was my guides of 7, or 7 guides of oracle cards, my response to the tarot Council of 7 that we did. And it is beautiful. I think you have to try to give yourself a chance to do those hashtags. Natalia from Ouroboros has made a wonderful movement, because we are not only talking about what we like, what we don't like, what we prefer, what we can't live without. Well, it is still funny to do all those hashtags, but this one is, I have a feeling, something different, and I'm quite sure a lot of people will be able to want to join, because it is another approach to the different selections that we are doing. And of course, I'm going to put the link down below for Natalia's video. And I do recommend, before you will do the hashtag, listen to what she is talking about, how she wants you to approach. And I highly recommend everyone, even if you are a bit afraid of that your selection of decks will be funny, silly, don't be. We are so different, and through these kind of hashtags, challenges, discussions, we are opening ourselves to the world, to each other. We are opening our way of looking on tarot oracles. So I really hope that you will be able to participate. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you one more time, Natalia, for this wonderful hashtag. Take care. Bye.